Okay, I told Momo about it like 2 years ago. So
It's
Momo, correct
my
me
ending now. It's
if
my
I'm not.
canon ending. It's what I tell
Yeah, but just
myself at
just
night
tell
so
me
I
if I
feel
messed it
better.
up. Yeah, yeah. So okay, I'm trying to remember what it was, but it was like um for the final scene, the final fight, right?
Mhm.
I was saying that it shouldn't just be Ray and well, Kylo was there for a second, lah, but then he just got thrown away. But they should all fight together. Like actually, like I was saying, like Finn, Chewie, Poe,
Oh.
all of them should come and try and help to destroy the Emperor. Like it would have been really cool. Like what is that? Maybe the gunship drops down and then Finn just comes out of nowhere and shoots the Emperor a bit, and then like he blocks it, of course, and then
Mm.
he like pushes him. Then I don't know. Like I was thinking Poe could like just ram his
X-Wing.
X-wing right into the Emperor and then like eject
Oh
at the last second.
Control,
yeah.
yeah.
Like yeah, and then then he gets out with a pistol, and then Chewie starts, and then like they really start to like really team up and fight
The
the
Falcon. Oh,
Emperor. Oh yeah, and
Superman.
then the Falcon could come also. Like actually that would have been like a coming together scene that made sense. Like the one where all the
Yes.
ships came together. It's just all just
Oh
it's
yeah.
people.
Nonsense.
Like they said, it's people. Like it just doesn't make sense. But this one
The
is all
Force has
people we
never been
know,
about
and it's
people.
yeah, it's never been about people, so it doesn't make sense. So that's why like it would have been better if they
Mm.
came together and fought the Emperor
Yeah.
together, and then when they take him down, it actually made sense because we needed everyone to do it
Yeah.
together, and then like
That's
they
really
can still do
good.
the we can still
Jedi
do the
voices.
yeah, hear the voices, and then
Yeah.
yeah, and I would have liked Kylo. Why did he get just thrown in the
You
hole?
could
That made
just
doesn't make sense.
imagine Kylo and Rey blocking that together, like the power, the darkness, and the light coming together and eating Palpatine once and fall. Beautiful
Yeah,
ending.
yeah, that's one
Mm.
of the things I liked in okay, this is in like Endgame
Infinity.
and Infinity War. There's a lot of combos,
Combo.
and I love combos. Like yeah, even in Avengers, the first Avengers and the Age of Ultron, like
Age
there
of
were a
Ultron.
lot of there's a lot of combos like like Iron Man, he shoots his laser at Captain America and then he uses it, and then like maybe yeah, and in Infinity War, when Doctor Strange makes the thing for Star-Lord to jump off so they can put like it's intense because like everyone's
Boom.
helping each other and everyone's jumping off each other
Yeah.
and
It's
really
fun,
yeah, and they're really
exciting.
helping
Yeah.
each other. It just looks so much more, yeah, it looks exciting, it's cool, it's fun, and then it actually makes sense when they do defeat because everyone had to come together to really
Mm.
destroy him, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
That's my ending.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just wanted to add two more. First from Jang. Wow, but Jang made me spark a memory. I don't know if you guys heard or if it was a rumor, but like they was, I don't know if it was true, but they wanted to bring all the Jedi, so like bring Anakin, Obi-Wan, like as like how like
Physically.
yeah, physically to fight off like Palpatine as the power. So like I mean I maybe that could have been cool too if we saw all the
Incorporate
Jedi.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, like what Jang said about bringing everybody together. I think they should also bring all the Jedi's together. If they brought all the Jedi's together, memories from the original Star Wars that could and maybe they could have done an end game moment, which I felt they could have missed. And I just wanted to point out because I love saying this a lot. It just shows like the way that they've written just generally for the whole all three movies, the way they just written and kind of like just discarded Ray's parents is just
It's
insane.
so funny. It's
Yeah,
so
like
funny.
episode 7, Ray, your parents were somebody. Then episode 8, your parents were nobody. Then episode
Nobody.
9, your parents were nobody to be somebody. I just love how
But see,
and it
I'm
was.
gonna chime in again. In the Force Awakens, it sets up that she's nobody. It says that she's nobody. The line, the belonging you seek is not behind you; it is
Mm-hmm.
ahead. It's somewhere
Ahead.
else
Yep.
completely. And so,
Mm-hmm.
and then in the Last Jedi, it picks up on that. See, they were nobody. Who you are, you're not defined by your family. It's how you move forward, or you find a new
Mm-hmm.
family. And then here it's like, oh, yeah, your family. But no, it's just the issue with Rey being a Palpatine is that it's we've seen how our hero grapples with, my lineage is the big bad. We've seen that, and it's done more effectively in episode 5 and episode 6 because you actually
Mhm.
feel, oh, could Darth Vader, wow, this evil, punking, is that the term? Yeah, this huge
Yeah.
figure, Darth Vader, he's actually human behind there. could there be something more? But Palpatine is, as I think George Lucas says, he's the devil. There's no conflict there of whether he turns or not. So yeah. But I'm
Mhm.
just gonna quickly just finish it off on why Jang's version is perfect. It's because it makes sense thematically. You know, if
Yeah.
the whole idea of this, and I'll say one more thing that's good about the Rise of Skywalker, the adventure vibe that you get from Poe, Finn, and Rey for like the first half, it's fun, it's exciting. I like their dynamic there. But if you have all three of them taking down Palpatine, it goes against what Palpatine is saying. Like, oh, you're my family, you're my family. What? You're my granddaughter, but not really, and you're destined to be evil forever. But then it would have been more powerful to go, yeah, you choose your own family. And I guess they do that at the end when they all hug. But so what? Okay, cool. Hug lah, have fun. But
Mhm.
I don't feel there's no weight behind any of it. But if you have, Poe coming in, helping defeat Palpatine, Finn coming in to defeat Palpatine, Chewie, the Falcon, it's a perfect combination of, the 8 Star Wars movies leading up to the big bad with everyone chipping in. And yeah, throw in, as Fez said, the Jedi at the end, everyone coming together to defeat the ultimate big bang. Not I'm just using two lightsabers to block, going hey hey hey. Oh, I hate that. But I'll
Mhm.
say, with uh in our ending, you do get classic Loki screaming, screaming as
Mhm.
the Star Destroyer blows up. So I guess that's something there. I don't know what it means,
Mhm.
but something there. You get
Right.
that piece of enjoyment.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Jang finishes off.
yeah, I also no, I was just thinking more about this ending, and then I realized like what would have been epic is like maybe after Poe has crashed his X-wing, he's like I don't have a weapon, and then Chewie just like reaches into his bag and then takes out like Han Solo's blaster or something. So
Hey,
so
oh, that's a
so
good
then
Oh,
scene. That's a good.
yeah, that would be great.
so
Oh
so
my
then
god.
like everything is there, you know what I mean? Like even Han Solo is not there, but he's like they're still like like paying
Oh,
homage to
I can see
him,
that,
and
like,
that's why I like that Leia's lightsaber was there because she's not there, but she's
which we never
still kind of
saw.
there because yeah.
That's
So
nice.
yeah, but like yeah, that's why. So like you can bring stuff together and really show like
Yeah.
and still yeah, that's why.
This is why Jang is the writer for everything.
For everything. All right. We
No,
talked a
but
lot
wait.
about
I'll just say,
Oh,
in 2000, I don't know. Uh, a picture was going around in like episode 9 concept or whatnot, and it was always this idea because the Star Trek movie that came out, they blew up the Star Trek ship. I don't care what it's called. So I just assumed they would blow up the Falcon, and I kind of wish they did. So can you just imagine like Chewie and Lando, like, oh, I can see Lando going, kid, just
Mhm.
ramming the Falcon into Palpatine, but it's just useless. But it's just awesome, that awesomeness. But yeah, I love that idea of that Jang product. Can you just imagine? I really Jang had the idea. I'll finish off with dialogue. So you see this X-wing just crash into Palpatine, but he's like, "You fall," and then he's about to like shoot his lightning. Then you see Chewie go, chuck the DL-44 and just whack Palpatine and like stun him for a minute and go like, and then you get what's his face, Poe and Chewie to do that iconic Han Solo and Chewie pose. Oh, that's a good fucking scene. And
That
well,
was a
I just
very
thought I'd
accurate
block
Chewie
Saber.
impersonation.
Mm.
Yeah, very accurate. Fez.
I just want to ask Mel because you only watched The Force Awakens. I'm just really curious, as someone who is not familiar with Star Wars, like what did you think of The Force Awakens? What did you like and what do you not like? Because I'm really curious, like about your
Mhm.
thoughts when you watched it.
Actually, I feel like I watched The Last Jedi as well, but I can't remember. But I fully kind of remember The Force Awakens. I think what really stood out to me and what I really liked was something that you guys alluded to earlier was the play of color, the red and the blue. That was incredibly striking to me. And it was something that was
The
even more
lightsaber
so
fight at the end.
when,
Oh.
yeah, especially the lightsaber fight at the end. But there's also the one with Han Solo versus Kylo Ren, and how when
Oh,
you thought
yeah.
that he would kind of try to reunite with his father, but then everything turned red. And
Yeah.
immediately,
The
I just
shadows.
love
Yes, yes,
that
yes, 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 yes,
symbolism.
yes, yes,
Yes,
yes.
so that really stood out to me the most, especially more so. But in
I
regards
just
to
forgot.
dislike, Mhm.
I
Huh?
just remembered. Yeah, the Force Awakens ending is so blue, but you had that red, and the
Yes,
small contrast that you had a dark
yes,
blue with the
hmm
white and the I
hmm
think black trees. Rey in her tattered outfit that's like very white and dirty, but and Kylo in the black. And but that red is so bright, and that blue is contrasting everything else. But compared with the Rise of Skywalker, just all the same type of blue. Ugh. And the
Mhm.
movie made me feel blue by the end, just depressed.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, and I just really loved Ray. I loved her
Yes.
acting, and like it's something that I wrote in the notes as well as to how expressive Daisy Ridley is. I mean, I saw her audition floating around in YouTube in the past, and it was just, I don't know, it was just amazing. It was spectacular. So she really did carry this movie for me. As for my dislikes, it's a bit hard to say because I don't know the plot of Star Wars right from episode one. So it's, I can't really talk much about the pacing, etc. But I will have to agree with what Jang said earlier about the revelation of Kylo Ren and like his face when he took the mask off. I remember the first time I watched it, I think it was at Momo's birthday party. I remember being, I don't know much about this franchise, but I also kind of feel like this isn't the face that suits. It was funny. Yeah. But I
The
love him.
point, though.
Yeah, but I do
You
love him.
expect this evil big bad Scott, but he's just a child in a mask.
Exactly. So
But that's the point. I think
exactly.
so. It works in that regard.
Yeah.
I
That's
like
exactly
that.
what I thought when I rewatched it for the second time today. And I just have to say he's a very emo kid. Like honestly, I just feel like Princess Leia and Han Solo should have just grounded him and not made him listen to My Chemical Romance at a young age. He completely succumbed into the darkness. But yeah, those are my thoughts of the 2015. All right. So we talked a lot about the story. Thanks for asking me that, by the way, Farron. We talked a lot
What did you think
about
of The Last Jedi?
The Last Jedi.
It's bad. I'm just putting it like.
I thought that should have been the last movie. I don't know. I'm joking. But we talked about the plot lines of the last three movies already. But I was curious as to what you guys would think about the directors themselves. So about the nitty gritty of these movies, is there a way to generally describe J.J. Abrams' style of cinematography, directing, blah 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 in the Star Wars episodes? And do you think that his quality kind of dropped from the 2015 one to the Rise of Skywalker in 2019? Because that's the vibe I was getting from you guys earlier.
I think technically The Rise of Skywalker is fine. Like it's very much similar to The Force Awakens. There's nothing bad I think you could say technically, but a lot of it is the writing with The Rise of Skywalker. And the difference there is The Force Awakens was written with Lawrence Kasdan, who wrote episode 5 and 6. But The Rise of Skywalker was written with Chris Terrio, who, J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio. So, yeah, directing-wise, if I think you can't really say like the camera movement, cinematography, the music, how the action scenes are done, besides the lack of music, which I didn't think worked in the final fight. Yeah, but I don't think you can say much technically, but it all comes down to the writing.
Actually, I want to say something about the final fight. I've not seen the Star Wars final fight, unfortunately, but I felt like it was something that I kind of agree with first from the sounds of it. Even if it's the final fight, if there's no music, but if it's done properly, that would be effective in a whole different level. Because that's something that you guys don't watch Naruto Shippuden, but they did that for a final fight, and it was just sounds of them whacking each other, and there's no music, and that is incredibly effective. Highly recommend you to search that up on YouTube as well. But
it would work. But there's no
just a
conflict
thought,
behind
yeah.
that fight. That's the issue. Yeah, there's conflict between like the big bad and but Kylo Ren and Rey fighting in 9. There's nothing there like, oh, is she gonna turn to the dark side? Is she gonna give in? You know she won't, because she's never had that conflict before. So I just don't care what's going on, and it's not even that nice to look at because everything is so muted and gray.
Yes, I kind of agree with Momo. Like, what is that? In terms of directing, I think it was fine. It's just really like, since the writing is a bit, it's really off. Like, so because of that, it really hurt the movie. It really felt like J.J. Abrams was, I don't know what Disney did to him. Like, they were like, what, pointing a gun at him, like, write us a script now. It just that's why, like, I think if like you have
Something blows up.
if you, yeah, that's why if he had time to like maybe like think about it properly and really write maybe he can do maybe a few he probably did a few versions but like, give the man some time to think about it. Like, because like I haven't made a movie, but there's probably a lot of production stuff having to be done, and we have to start by this time, and we have to get the script ready, and then we need to plan the set. So he probably is just like, right faster. So he's probably there like, okay, then I'm a Skywalker, then go enjoy. So that's why, like, yeah, really, he just needed time. Just give him some time to be good.
Yeah, I just want to add to Jang's point. Yeah, I think one of the reasons also is probably the deadline. They wanted to release the movie at a certain time.
December 2019. Yeah.
Yeah, I think maybe if they delayed it, I would rather they delay it and we get a
Yes.
quality movie than a rushed movie like this of how Rise of Skywalker turned out. But I kind of I believe that there was just too much freedom in terms of like the people producing it. There was just too much freedom because I think in terms of the directing, JJ Abrams had a direction he wanted to go, and then Ryan Johnson also had a direction he wanted to go. And suddenly when like Ryan Johnson's not in charge of the last one and it's JJ Abrams, his direction is kind of lost because of the Last Jedi. And I felt like there was just too much freedom of like direction of where they want to go with the directors. I felt again from Kathy Kennedy, if they had like if they had like a basic storyline of what they wanted for all three films, the directing would have been great. It's just that there was just so much freedom to do whatever they want that it just ended up being really messy. Yeah.
Right. Momo, you look a bit conflicted. Is there something you'd like to say?
Oh no.
I don't really want to get into Last Jedi because it's kind of like spilt milk at this point. Like, whatever, it's done. Who cares? For me anyway. But here's an interesting tidbit for you, I guess. So J.J. Abrams was announced as the director for Episode 7 in January of 2013, and the movie was actually supposed to come out in May 2015. Because Star Wars has always come out in May. But what happened was Harrison Ford had an injury. The Millennium Falcon door fell on him or something. So yeah, he broke his leg. Production had to be delayed. Yada yada yada. But yeah, so he got what, 2 years and a bit, like close to 3 years to plan out The Force Awakens and all that. But with the Rise of Skywalker, because Colin Trevorrow left in I think September or October when like creative differences was announced, and Abrams was brought in like September or October, so he only had 2 years and a bit to make the movie. So there's like a difference of 7 or 8 months. And yeah, I think he could have used them. Just delay the movie. It's far worse to have like a rush product just to be like, oh, we want it to come out every 2 years. Just have it come out in December 2020. Like, oh no, actually no, it would have been COVID.
Yeah, but then the
time, so-
pandemic, pandemic GG
COVID. Yeah,
Yeah.
but they really should have just waited. Or as I've said, I feel like you could have done what JJ wanted, but you just needed a part 1 and a part 2, like Infinity War. See, that's what I respect about Marvel. They want like, oh, we need Avengers to be a trilogy because reasons. They were like, okay, rather than make 3 and 4 whatnot, they were like, let's split it up. Yeah, see,
Yeah.
Like,
but don't do it like Harry
right.
Potter. What's the worst? Hunger Games splitting up is kind of it's interesting, but yeah, Hunger Games Part 2 is way too. It's too long, I think. So yeah,
Right.
don't always split it up, especially if you're a book.
What I can get from Fezz in particular, what I could get from Fezz in particular was that the moment we went to with Ryan Johnson, it kind of went a little bit out there in regards to like the direction of the story, etc. And then when JJ Abrams came in, he was trying really hard to bring it back to his own vision.
Yeah.
But that aside, when we had Ryan Johnson come in to do episode 8, did you guys feel like there was a certain change of feel when it came to the movie? Like it's no longer as Star Wars, like the vibe is just no longer as Star Wars as it was in 2015? Or did you feel like he did a good job at maintaining that aesthetic, that vibe in general?
I feel like the movie's just brighter, if anything. Like The Force Awakens looks very much like episode 4, 5, 6. It follows in that same style, but as Justin would put it, it's a bit more crispy. It's slightly crispier with updated graphics. But with episode 8, I'm thinking of some shots that are very visually striking. Rey and not Rey, what's his face? Luke and Kylo Ren staring down each other. I feel like it was a bit. People have said like, oh, taking risks and all that. I don't know risk, but stepping out of the comfort zone and challenge fresher designs, if anything, I guess, with the story. But yeah, I feel he's pretty much keeping in line with the Star Wars aesthetic. It's not like he suddenly went to Earth or something. So yeah, the only thing that's really different, I guess, is just in the writing department. But here's the thing with Ryan Johnson and J.J. Abrams, when you want to say follow a plan, blah blah blah, I'll say that. So J.J. Abrams set a few things up. It's like if you give me a burger, a milkshake, and a pizza, right? So let's say one is Ray's storyline, one is Finn. So J.J. Abrams gives you three pieces, but you're like, oh no, let's talk about it in terms of toys instead. So if I give you toy A, I'm a kid, toy A, toy B, toy C. So JJ was like, here you go, here's some toys. But then Ryan Johnson's like, thanks for the toys. I think I'm more interested in toy A, but he doesn't want to play with toy B and C. And I'm talking about Finn, right? So it feels like he was more interested in exploring some other aspects of what JJ set up. And the stuff that he didn't like or didn't really care for, he just, I'll just do, you go to Casino Planet and you go ride some horses. How's that? Cool, that works. So I think that's a fair criticism of The Last Jedi. You could tell the director was probably more interested in exploring something else and not some things, but yeah.
Great. So we all know the ever so famous Star Wars main title, composed by John Williams and recorded in 1977. We are not gonna hum that earworm of motive though, because copyright infringement, we can't do that. But a general question open up to all of you. What makes a Star Wars original soundtrack Star Wars?
Ooh, I think for me, it's just like how John Williams creates a sense of excitement in his scores from like the the violin, and he kind of keeps like this constant theme from like the main theme song, and just like kind of incorporates in a lot of his scores when he does it for the films. I feel like the sense of excitement is what he builds, the sense of excitement really well that really complements the scene. So I would say that,
yeah, I feel like Star Wars is something that we just all know, even if we're not like a huge fan. Whereas in Marvel, it's sometimes really hard to think about how the theme song sounds like. Even though it's there, it's just something that we just don't really pay so much
The
attention
Avengers theme is
to.
pretty good though.
Yes, that one.
Oh, copyright infringement. I don't know, just exactly what Fez said, a sense of adventure, but the key word I think is magic. Right?
Oh yeah, that's so true. Yeah, that's a good word.
For me, my favorite soundtrack of the new trilogy is probably Rey's theme, and it's the whimsicalness of pam 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 pam, and the magic. I feel a sense of magic when I listen to it, and also the sense of adventure, right? So yeah, that's one. I don't know. I know you, Mel. You studied music in IG. I'll tell you what I did, and I'm sorry to the teacher who's listening right now. We had to compose a soundtrack, like what is it, trailer music for Skyfall, right? You know what I did?
Yeah.
I didn't compose jack shit. All I did, I went on YouTube and I went Skyfall instrumental, downloaded it and put it in the trailer. Oh, there we go.
And the funny thing was that he passed. He passed. Our teacher took a listen to it and he told Momo, "Wow, that's really good, Momo." And I was like, "No, he copied and pasted it from the trailer." God, yes, sir.
I just
Skyfall instrumental. I didn't steal the trailer. I just copied the Skyfall instrumental.
Oh no, yeah.
I just
Skyfall.
I just wanted to add, even though I didn't like The Rise of Skywalker, I remember when the trailer first came out, I was in uni doing group work. I stopped everything and I watched the trailer and I just blasted the trailer out loud. And the score, I don't know who did the score, but I don't know, did John Williams do the score for the trailer?
No, probably not.
Oh, but like the
probably
trailer,
not.
But the trailer I remember watching that and just the score of using the main theme, and it just felt so conclusive, and it really like, I remember I loved the soundtrack. I mean, I loved the score when they did the trailer for Rise of Skywalker, because it felt like this whole Skywalker saga is gonna come
coming to an end. It's more satisfying than the movie, honestly.
Yeah, it was so cinematic, the score it just made me so excited. And then when I watched the movie, no.
The trailer, I never thought about that. The trailer is more satisfying than the movie.
Right?
Yeah. The Skywalker saga comes to an end, then you have, oh my god, that last line, what is it? We'll be with you always, and then it ends on Rey's face. Oh, that's a good trailer. And better than it's satisfying
better
stuff.
than the movie. Yeah. Dang.
Jang, what do you have to say about the soundtrack?
I just think that I'm not I didn't study music or anything, but I just think that it needs to be timed, like it just needs to be in the perfect place. That's why the trailers for Star Wars is
Mm,
always like good. Even for like all of them, I love the trailers because the
dun,
music
dun,
just adds
dun,
to it. Maybe like
dun, dun,
it's
dun,
going
dun.
at like 90, and then like
Mm.
you add in the music and it's just like 200. Whoa, it's just amazing.
Yeah.
And then like some scenes when you just have the right music there
Oh.
and you just add it in, like or like for the grand scenes, and you add in the music, it just really adds to everything that's happening. So like
Mhm.
yeah,
Oh,
just
yeah.
for me, music, I don't really notice it unless it's like these scenes where I'm just like, oh yeah, the music was there too to help it. And I was just like, oh yeah, yeah. So
That
yeah.
scene where Ray catches the lightsaber, and then that Star
Oh
Wars theme kicks
yes.
into full gear in its epic fashion. Oh, that's good stuff.
Oh yeah.
That's
Yeah, that's
good.
why it
But,
complements all these stuff, even
Mhm.
though that scene was
Mhm.
kind of bad, but like the
oh,
music just made it like,
yeah.
oh yo.
Hey, hey, hey,
Like,
hey, 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 hey,
so like so like yeah.
when you meet Ray for the first time and the pam pam pam, oh, it speaks louder than words ever could. Yeah.
All right, so we're just gonna end this podcast episode with a few cute little questions for you guys. Just a final grand hurrah to the episode for you guys to geek out on. Each and every one of you should give me at least, not at least, just one. If you had to pick one iconic moment or dialogue from the three Star Wars movie that we have been discussing throughout this entire episode, what would that be? First one to come up with it, just go ahead and say.
My favorite scene from all three of the films. And I think they come from The Force Awakens. One is Ray picking up the lightsaber
Mm-hmm.
because I think it's such a
Yep,
powerful moment.
I love that too.
Another great moment in The Force Awakens is it's just so Star Wars to me, just about redemption. It's where Han speaks to Leia, and Han goes, "If Luke couldn't reach him, how could I?" And then Leia replies, Luke's a Jedi. You're his father. There's still light in him. I know it. I'm like, that's Star Wars. Just pure Star Wars, Hope,
Mhm,
redemption, all that good stuff. Family, if you want to bring in some
mhm.
Family.
Toretto. A
Family.
Last Jedi, I'm
Mhm,
thinking of the throne room scene, just the
mhm,
Yeah.
unexpectedness of the whole moment, the surprise, the joy of,
mhm,
the darkness and the light coming together.
mhm,
Ray and Luke. I love all the lessons because of,
mhm,
exploring the deeper meanings of Star Wars in a way we've never seen before. How about the Battle of Crate, the last stand of the Resistance against the Empire, giving it their all, or when Luke comes back with his Force projection and amends things with Leia and does the most badass move and saves the day. Oh, good stuff. That's a lot of scenes, but yeah, those are some of my favorite scenes of the sequel trilogy. And
mhm.
if you notice, not and Rise of Skywalker, let's give one for Mr. Rise of Skywalker. It's where Rey trains in the jungle.
Out of the three movies, the scene that is really the best for me, which
Mhm.
is weird because it's in the movie that I like the least. It's
What?
the throne room scene in Last Jedi. I really love the that
Oh.
throne room scene because like what is that? It really was unexpected. No, we saw him turning the lightsaber, so we knew he was gonna do something. But like in terms of like the normal Star Wars storyline, it was completely different, and the fight was really, really good, and it was just chaos, and it was amazing, and I really yeah, it just out of nowhere, it just switched from like, oh okay, it's just gonna be another, and then he kills Snoke, and then they catch the lightsaber, and the music comes and everything, and they fight together, which we were really waiting for. I really like that scene. Yeah, like Momo said, a lot of scenes of course were good. Like if I had to pick one from Force Awakens, I actually liked Han Solo's death scene a lot. Like I know he's
Mm.
dead, but like you really whew, when he fell, like oh
Oh yeah.
damn,
Mhm.
there you go. So like but yeah, and I no, just the last Jedi scene really stood out because it was just completely different from how Star Wars, like what you were expecting to happen and everything. So
Mhm.
like it was shot really well. So like, and it's just so
The
weird that
red.
the
Oh,
best, yeah, the best scene is in the
Mm,
movie I like the least. So
was
like, oh, yeah.
mhm. All right. Last but not least, Fez, one iconic moment or dialogue from these three Star Wars movies, in your opinion, and an extra one. What are some things you like to say to those out there who are not as necessarily invested in Star Wars?
Ooh, that last question is juicy. I remember like when I was planning this, I thought it was gonna be about the original movies too. So I had a lot more originals than I have more scenes that I remember in the originals than the sequel, but I only have one, so I'll talk about the scene I liked in the sequels. For
Mhm,
me, it was definitely when Kylo and Han Solo were at the bridge in episode 7. I just thought that was
mhm,
like, it was so, we get to see the vulnerable sides of both these characters and how Han feels really
yes.
responsible of how he of how Kylo Ren is today, and Kylo feels like kind of lost and broken, and he doesn't even know who he is. And there's this one line that Kylo said both in episode 7 and in episode 9, which is, I know what I have to do, but I don't know if I have the strength to do it. And I just
I know
mhm,
thought
what I have to
like,
do, but I don't have
yeah,
the strength to do it.
when you
Will you help me,
listen
please?
when you listen to it when you listen to that line, episode 7, it's like different. It's like he was lost and broken and confused. And when you listen it to episode 9, it sounds
Yes.
that he knows what he has to do now. Like he's confident that he needs to just stop doing this. And I just yeah, that for me, that was the only scene I love or I can remember that's iconic out of the original of the sequel. And if I had to say anything to people who want to watch the new Star Wars films, I would say it's not perfect. It's never going to be perfect. It's not going to be as great as the originals. I would say it's not as I remember when I watched episode 1, 2, and 3, I was really, really bored. And I was just didn't care. But now when I reflect it, it is at least episode 1, 2, and 3 had a storyline and it was more consistent than the sequel trilogy. But I would say for the people who want to watch it, just like if you're not a Star Wars fan and you just want to watch something different and cool, yeah, give it a go. But if you are a Star Wars fan, I think you'll have a lot of mixed reactions when you watch the sequel, the 3 movies. Yeah.
all right. Is there anything that you guys want to add at the end? No? All
Yeah.
good? All
So,
good.
okay. I mentioned like, oh,
Okay.
do I like The Force Awakens, Last Jedi? So, and I was rewatching it for like, I guess I don't know how many times I've seen this movie. I'll say 40 seems like a logical amount. I don't know, but
Mm-hmm.
as we mentioned, no movie is ever perfect. But to me, I think it will always be the most memorable movie experience I've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
A mix. The pre-event hype to that movie was insane. I remember following every news, and I actually, funny enough, read the leaks, but I just forgot about it. But like one of the leaks was kind of weird. It's like you never even know Han Solo's dead. You just see him like he just disappears or something, and then the end is Finn and Rey. But I'm going off on a tangent. Whatever. What I'm trying to say is this movie was just incredibly special to me as a Star Wars fan. Having
Mm-hmm.
grown up with the TV show and the prequels and the originals, I just never thought that I'd be able to see something new in the cinema. I remember being so excited when episode 1 was coming out again. They released episode 1 in 3D. They were going to release all the movies in 3D when 3D was a thing, but 3D just flopped after that. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I never thought it happened. So when it was announced in October 30th of 2012 when Disney bought Star Wars, I was like, ooh, yes, 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 Star Wars movie. And then the first trailer came out in November 2014. And I was actually worried after the first trailer because I was like, this looks like a fan movie. But I guess it's just hard to wrap your brain around something new that's about to happen, right? I remember watching the trailers, at the locker, by the locker with the iPad, and we had earphones plugged in. I remember like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, and I was like, oh my God, Han Solo, Falcon,
Mm-hmm.
lightsabers, yes, yes, yes. And then when the actual day came, I watched it with a friend of mine, and we stayed up all night playing Star Wars Battlefront and theorizing about what might happen. It was ridiculous, I think, what we thought was going to happen. But
Mm-hmm.
then when it came, and I think it was just a really good day at school because it was the second last day of school. So I think there was probably some food. It was Secret Santa, if you guys remember, right?
Oh
The
yeah.
Secret Santa, yeah. And I watched it, I think. I came in late to school, if you guys remember. So yeah, I watched the 6 a.m. show, Force Awakens, and just speechless when it ended, a buzz with what might come next, and I was just thinking about it the whole day. Then I went to watch it again at 6 p.m. also, I think. Yeah, 6 p.m.
Wow.
Monotama, and then what is it? I watched it with a friend, and his girlfriend was his soon-to-be girlfriend, like 2 years later, was in the audience. So that's quite funny how everything comes together. Yeah, I remember buying the merchandise, whether it be the 99 ringgit 6-inch action figures, uh, thinking about what might happen next in the sequels, but rewatching it, I think 10 times, yeah, multiple times with different friend groups. So it was just a really happy moment, I guess. And I guess I have this movie to thank for it, right?
That's so sweet.
I didn't with just really good memories. So yeah, good stuff.
I just want to add, like, I remember when I watched Star Wars, Force Awakens and Last Jedi, I was starting to lose hope with the new Star Wars. Like, I'm like, okay, do they really have to revive it? Like, I was starting to lose hope. But then when they have new projects like The Mandalorian, I was like, yes, this is what Star Wars is supposed to be with its originality and like character depth was really well done. So I was kind of happy that they did Mandalorian, and I'm really happy also. I cannot wait for the new Star Wars projects coming. Like there's this thing called Star Wars Vision where they're going to combine anime and Star Wars. So I'm so excited to see that. I'm excited for Mandalorian season 3. I'm also really excited to see Andor and Obi-Wan's show and Ahsoka. And I just think now I have faith in the newer Star Wars project, I guess because it's not really holding any sort of massive storyline like the Skywalker saga. So yeah, I'm optimistic about the new Star Wars projects, and I hope they keep a good quality like what they did for Mandalorian. Yeah.
It's a big galaxy. Let's move away from the Skywalkers. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Jang,
But
any
for
last thoughts
Jang,
about
yeah.
the Star Wars franchise and what it means to you?
He
I'm
only
pretty
cares
sure
about one
Momo,
thing in the Star Wars franchise. He only cares
Momo and
about
Fezz have said a lot of
agree
Yeah.
things.
with me, but yeah. There's only one
Uh,
thing he cares about in this damn franchise.
No, it's okay for me. I really, when I was a kid, I loved the Clone Wars, and I really just the Clone Wars is amazing, and I was so happy when they did the final season for Clone Wars. They revived it because they like left it for a while, and then they brought it back just to finish it off. That was really good, and yeah, I agree with Fez. I'm really excited for Mando and all the Ahsoka movie and Obi-Wan movie. Like, yeah, enough Skywalker already. Like they've
It's done.
yeah, like the movies, like they kind of like went down. So I was just like, okay, yeah, okay, leave it already. Stop, don't make it worse. It's done. So just leave it there, and yeah, I'm really excited to see what they're gonna do next. And the good thing is it doesn't hold as much pressure as those three movies, because they were like what's happening next, the main Star Wars story. But now there are all these small ones, even if one doesn't really make sense or whatever, it's fine. I mean, like they can
Right.
do yeah. So yeah, I'm definitely excited to see what they are gonna do with Star Wars. Yeah.
Thank you guys for listening to our 8th episode, technically the first episode of season 2 of What You Think. We hope you enjoyed this special Star Wars episode. As I'm talking right now, Momo has a bunch of Star Wars collectibles sitting on the shelf right behind him. Fez has her, I don't know, her Star Wars shirt, and Jang is hugging his little toy. But these 3 friends of mine are absolute huge Star Wars fans, and I'm just so happy I'm able to do this episode with them. If you do enjoy your content, do rate us on Apple Podcasts, like our video on YouTube, and also share our stuff to your friends and family who you think would enjoy our reviews and our geeky side. Do also follow us on our Instagram, What You Think Podcast. That's what WAT. And we hope to see you very, very soon with a new episode. Until then, please do stay tuned.